It is just a couple of minutes here on the East Coast before noon, and every Wednesday we've been doing these open Q&A calls. As a matter of fact, just so you know, we're going to have to change the time of our open Q&A calls for the future. We'll likely, I'm just watching a car go by. It was a police car. I want to make sure he's not pulling in my driveway. Anyway, so we've been doing our Q&A calls on Wednesdays at noon. We're going to have to switch the time because my schedule is changing next week. So we'll probably look at doing them either earlier in the day or later in the day. But stay tuned. We'll definitely let you know. And as you know, we've been doing these Q&A calls to address any questions. And the questions are folks that have a question around manifesting. And it could be manifesting anything that you desire. And so we've had 5 questions submitted for today in advance, and we're on here for approximately 30 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the questions that were submitted in advance first. And then anyone that joins us here live, if you have a question as well and you'd love for me to address it, then please let me know. Hey, Sean. Hey, Sean, thank you for that audio you sent me yesterday. I started listening to it this morning and then I had to get ready for a meeting. And I love what I heard so far. So I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it. So, Sean, I want to thank you for that. And hello, Nancy. Hello, Roddy. And anyone else that's with us right now, Nicoletta, we've got lots of regulars that are joining us here too. And we're going to start with the first question that was submitted. And it is a question from, this question happens to be from Nadea. Excuse me. So here's the question. I have another question. In Working with the Law by Raymond Hollowell, he talks about the law of sacrifice, giving up the old and doing new habits and disciplines for something greater. I desire a new house, which I want to buy, but I can't figure out what my sacrifice is here. What do I have to sacrifice to get the new house? Isn't that an amazing question? I love this question. You know, it's a question that I don't know whether I've heard on a regular basis, but I'm so in love with the question. Okay, so what you have to sacrifice. And I remember hearing this whole idea of sacrifice years ago, and I heard it in this way. Like, decide what you're going to give up to get that what you want. Now think about that for a moment. Decide what you're going to give up. Now, some people get a little freaked out by that idea. And the reason why they get a little freaked out is because they think they have to give up something that's important to them or their values. And the truth is, no, you do not. What you have to give up is perhaps wasting time, or it could be you give up sleeping in, or you give up not doing the things that are going to take you in the direction of your goals. So you give up not studying, or you give up television because you get, in front of a boob tube, as they used to call it. Wonder why they called it a boob tube. But anyways, like you get in front of a television for hours and that's what you give up. So what you're really giving up are the things that have been holding you back, the things that aren't positive and supportive. That's what you give up. It's not you have to give up, something else or something important. Keep your values in place. It's important to remember what you value the most, but just understand the giving up is more about the way that you're going to conduct yourself on a regular basis. It really is about the disciplines that you're going to incorporate in your life. So for me, as an example, I'm disciplined to get to bed at a reasonable time so that I rest well and get up in the morning and I'm ready to serve my clients and anyone else in any way and possible way that I can. So there are disciplines that I've incorporated, like I get up early and I do my meditation, I'll do my gratitude journaling, and I'll read my affirmations, and I do my mirror work, and I do affirmations when I get out of the shower. I also listen to my Power Life script multiple times a day. So the giving up was not doing things that weren't, like that was many, many years ago, of course. So that's really what that is meant by what are you willing to give up? Okay. All right, great. I just saw a question come in on Instagram. What time do you wake up? Great question. I wake up when I wake up when I wake up. I actually don't set an alarm. Not a fan of alarms. And the reason why is because I know I'm going to wake up early anyways. This morning I was up at 5, and not every day I'm up at 5. I usually wake up between 6 and 6:30, but today I was up at 5. But I also went to bed earlier last night, so I was rested. So that's why I don't set the opportunity clock. I remember Zig Ziglar used to call the alarm clock the opportunity clock, and I like that. I think it's a much more positive way of looking at it. But hearing a bzzz, is sometimes startling. I do set it if I'm catching a plane, but I haven't been on one of those for about a year and a half now. So I just get up when I get up. Okay, our next question is from Kanik, and it says, I believe you are well, and once again, I need your help. I have a question actually. I want to know about the now moment. What is the now moment? We have to live in the present, but how can I relate to this with my future dreaming means what I want in my life? I hope you understand. Totally understand, Kanik, and I'm glad that you asked. So even though, yes, you're residing in the present, the way that you manifest is by imagining, and in your imagination, in your mind, and in your heart, you're thinking of and feeling as if you already have that which you desire. So that brings your future results or future desires into the present, into today, because that's how you manifest. So yes, you're here today. I do this myself. This morning I was looking at my visualization board, my vision board. I was writing in my journal. I was doing all kinds of things that have me imagining outcomes that I desire for my future. But I imagine them into my life right now. And I do that with my gratitude writing. I do it when I'm listening to my Power Life script. And so that's what it means by being in the present moment now, imagining that you already have that which you desire. So it's like you make your future desires a present fact. And the way that you make your future desires a present fact is by feeling as if they're here now. Okay, great question. Next one is from Lucy. I keep manifesting people who already have that which I want to manifest for myself. What does it mean? Sometimes I get jealous of them because I doubt that I can manifest that for myself. But then I also remember that it's a sign of what's possible for them and possible for me too. And that I can even learn from them. Yes, you answered your own question, actually. That's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. How do I navigate these mixed feelings and focus more on myself? All right. So what you do, Lucy, is when you see someone that's manifested something that you desire, give thanks for it. Genuinely feel the gratitude, like really feel gratitude. It may be their result, but the fact that you're feeling the emotion of gratitude is good for you. And what it will do is bring more good for you. So jealousy is a destructive emotion. Jealousy is an emotion that I would switch over to appreciation. Easy to do, right? You notice you're in the emotion, you just decide I'm switching away from jealousy, I'm moving over to appreciation. And isn't it wonderful that they've manifested that? I'm grateful that they've manifested that. Be grateful for another success that will bring good for you. Next question is from Bhavia. And the question is, I'm a mom of two from India. We moved as a family to the UK due to my husband's work. My mother lives in India. She has been working in an organization for 15 years and would be retiring in 2 years at 60. My parents don't live together. They parted ways in 2004. My mom kept herself busy with her work and seeing me and my sister grow since then. Due to the pandemic, she's been spending most of her time at home alone. My sister lives in the same city as my mother, but lives with her husband and children. Now she was feeling very lonely. I want her to spend her time joyously and happy and not lonely. I've been thinking of ways I can support my mom. Do you have any suggestions? All right, great question. So one is your mom has to want to make the change. Okay, I understand when we have desires for others, it's a wonderful thing. But does she want to, maybe be more social? Would she like to hang out with somebody? So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. One is, if she has any kind of electronics, if she's connected to the internet in any way, then get on Zoom calls or Skype calls or video calls of some sort. Ask her to get into a regular practice of doing that, even if it was with you and your sister and her grandchildren. I mean, this is something that can definitely help you. Now, if your sister can go visit her, I don't know what the rules are there. I mean, around the world, COVID is still going on, and there's different rules in different countries and different places. And so depending on what the rules are, I know for here, there were a lot of lockdowns going on. And I have a couple of friends that are alone. They live alone. And what I would do is I'd invite them over, and there'd be no like hugging or anything like that. We keep our 6 feet of distance, but I would invite them over, especially if the weather's nice. You could just simply sit outside and have a visit without any kind of contact. So I did that on a regular basis with a couple of my friends that were also living alone. And I know it made a difference for them. And so I found that those that do live alone, when they find their sort of their group, people that they are connecting to, and it might be just one other person or a couple other people, and she may want to find someone as well that she could socialize with a little bit more on a regular basis, even if it's one other person. Maybe make some suggestions to her on how she can do this, and create some kind of a schedule, I think, and that would definitely make a difference for your mom. And I think it's beautiful and very sweet of you to want to do something kind for your mom. Okay, our next question is from Frank. And the question is, can affirmations reverse depression? And so I would say yes, from my understanding, from the 40 plus years I've been studying this, yes, it absolutely can. And you have to have a strong desire to change that. It definitely creates a greater sense of focus. I would suggest that you become a very serious student if you're not already, and make sure that you're implementing ideas to get focused on joy and happiness in your life. We've got some training coming up in a little while, Frank, that you're definitely going to be interested in. So watch for the post. It's going to be called 5 Days to Easy Quantum Leaps. And we've been putting this training together and getting ready for it. So when you see the announcement about that, I would strongly suggest you watch all the training. It's totally free. Okay, so make sure that you watch for it, Frank, and make sure you get on the training. Okay, the next question is from Bettina. How do you market a product from scratch and thereby promise results that you would not even have at the first launch? Well, you cannot say things that are not true, or I don't believe you should say things that are not true. You've got to be really honest in your marketing, and you can't guarantee anything for anyone because there's no control over what they're going to do with it. So you can talk to them about what's possible and what you believe could be done by whatever it is that you're offering. And that's sincere and that's honest and it's genuine. And if you really believe, and I suspect you do, if you really believe in what you're offering, then that'll come through in your marketing and your communication. All right, the next question from Bettina is, my partner likes to whine. Everything is heavy for him. He always wants my attention and advice, but he doesn't take it. It sucks my zest for life and energy. I can ignore it for a while, but not permanently. What can you recommend? Unfortunately, I can't leave home because of Corona. Well, you can ignore it forever. I mean, you don't have to get energetically involved in it. Choose to focus on what you're connecting to energetically. You are in control of your thoughts. You're in control of your feelings. No one causes you to feel anything unless you give them permission. When you bring two people together, one that's, a negative person and one that's positive, somebody's going to take over, or they're simply not going to be really connected. Now, I had a cleaning lady a number of years ago, and her husband was very negative and she was very positive. And I asked her, I said, so what's your strategy? And she had told me that her strategy was to use her husband as an example of what not to be like. And so, I mean, she wasn't rude or anything about it. That was just in her mind. He is what it is. You can also look at him with appreciation. What can you appreciate about him? Like I had a very negative mom, and I used to go visit her. And when I'd visit her, I would imagine building a plexiglass shield around me for the trip because I didn't want to allow, and I wasn't going to allow any negativity to come in. And what I attempted to do was when she'd say something negative, I would throw it back as a positive. Then she'd say something negative and I throw it back as a positive. And it ends up being like a ping pong game, right? Throw negative, back positive, negative, positive. Now, sooner or later, either the conversation's just going to stop or one is going to accept the other's idea. And so you don't have control over what he thinks either. So just let it go. Just let it go. And another suggestion for you is to see him as you would love for him to be. Now, what I mean by that is you can be affirming that he's happy and he's now positive and genuinely feeling it in your heart as well. It could become part of your life script too. And so you're really feeling it. He doesn't even need to know you're doing this. And it may impact him because of energy. energy, like when you're giving energy to something. Like quite often people will ask me, can I include someone else in my Power Life script? It's like, sure. Like I talk about my son and how happy he is and how wealthy he is and how he has a wonderful family and he's very, very content with his life. And I talk about my grandson, my daughter-in-law, my granddaughter. I talk about them. I talk about my husband. They don't know. They don't listen to my Power Life script, but it's only good and it's only positive and it only supports them too. So you may want to include it as part of your life script too. Okay, and we've had a number of questions that are coming in while we're on the call here today. Roddy, thank you so much for jumping back and forth from Instagram to Facebook and posting these questions for me. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more questions. Okay, good. This one's from Ray. Says, hi Peggy, nice to see you. Thank you, Ray. It's very kind of you. I've created a special and unique tool to help coaches with their clients. It is a graphical representation of the path to success, and I'm having great results with it. I'd be honored to present it to you. So my question is, would you be open and willing to a short presentation? Absolutely. Definitely, Ray. Just email me. I would love to. I'm very interested in what you have. Thank you. Okay, the next question is from Rohit. How to manifest more money. You manifest more money, how you manifest anything. Decide what you would love, be specific when it comes to money. We actually also, so you know, we have something called the Money Marathon, and I would suggest you check it out. It's for anyone that wants more abundance in their life. And that is a topic that I've been speaking on and teaching for well over 20 years. And I love money and I love the freedom that it provides as well. So definitely check out themoneymarathon.com. But what you do is you decide like how much would you love? And you could have different money goals. You could have an earnings goal, you could have a net worth goal, you could have a profitability goal if you want. You could have a sales goal. You can have many different types of money goals. And when you're writing out your money goals, write them in the affirmative. I'm so happy and grateful now that my personal net worth is in excess of, and feel it, right? This is how you manifest money. You got to decide what you would love. You got to go straight to feeling as if you already have it, and you must stay there. And anytime you're thinking lack, get yourself out of that energy because it's destructive. What you're giving your attention to with your thoughts and your feelings is what expands, right? If you're giving your attention to not having money or not earning money or not having what you desire, you're going to get more of it and just create more of it. Right? That's why some people experience what they call Groundhog Day, the same thing over and over and over again. You got to shift your way of thinking and your way of being. All right? That's what I would suggest for you. Leo says, hey, Peggy, I'm thankful for this live and being here. I'm reading The Key to Yourself. Ooh, I was reading it this morning. Mine's falling apart. I love this book. I love this book. This book is by Venice Bloodworth for anyone that wants to get a copy of this book, Key to Yourself. Mine, as you can see, is falling apart. As you suggested, I'm loving it. Do you use, however, the state akin to sleep, as Neville says? Thanks. Yeah. Okay, so Neville Goddard talks about, and many other like teachers in this space talk about this as well. You know, there's different states that our mind goes into, our brain actually. And when we're in more of a relaxed state, and as Neville Goddard, thank you for reminding me of that, Neville Goddard calls it a state akin to sleep. That means you're very relaxed, very relaxed. It's like you're about to drift off into sleep. When you're in that state, it is the most powerful time of the day, most powerful manifesting time of the day. And what you want to be doing and thinking and feeling at that time, the state akin to sleep, is thinking about your dream life as if it's here now. So you ask yourself this question: now that my wish is fulfilled, how do I feel? Now, if you want to modify that question slightly, like now that my goal is here, or now that I have a healthy body, or now that blah, 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 whatever the goal might be, now that I have all that money that I desire, or now that I'm a multimillionaire, how do I feel? You ask yourself that question with the intention to focus on what you would desire. And you do that just as you're drifting off into sleep. All right? Powerful exercise, and it's the most powerful time because you're in this relaxed, I think it's theta state. Sean would know more about that. You're in this, that's why Sean, does hypnosis. He actually sent me a hypnosis audio yesterday because it puts you in a relaxed state. Okay, thank you. And our next question is from, I think the name is Tards. Do you think about cognitive conductual therapy? Don't even know what it is. So I don't know. Maybe. What is it? If you want to expand on that, that would be great. Sean, how specific should we be about manifesting a new partner? Wow, great question. I would say, when I decided to manifest my husband, who is a gift from God, he really is, I didn't declare what he would look like. I didn't talk about his height, his weight, his hair color, his eyes, or his age, or anything like that. What I declared and made a choice in manifesting was how I felt in the relationship that I was in. Now, I've seen a lot of people who declare that they have to have a partner who's into personal development because they're into personal development. My husband's not into personal development. It doesn't matter to me if he is or isn't into personal development. What matters to me most is what his values are, which are amazing. He values his family, as I do. He values honesty, integrity, as I do. He values being true to your word when you say you're going to do something, that you do it, as I do. So our values were a perfect match. And so when I declared the kind of partner that I would have in my life, I talked about those types of things, that we've got wonderful values that are a real great match. I also talked about how I felt when I'm with him, and the appreciation that I have for him, the elation that I feel to wake up every day knowing that I'm in this blessed relationship. And that's what I focused on. So be specific about how you feel. All right. It's such a beautiful question. All right. Thank you. Okay. We are at 12:20. And are there any other questions? I think I've answered all the questions that have come in so far. Okay. Let me see here. I got my browser. Where's my browser? I know it's probably hidden here. Okay, I don't know where it went. Hold on there. I'm going to move my phone. Oh, there it is. It was hiding. It was hiding under my phone. There we go. Okay, great. Okay, yes, Sean says, I love working in altered states. It's amazing for manifesting. Absolutely. But Tina, you're very welcome. Oh, I love that it's already in your Power Life script. Thank you. I'm grateful for that. Okay. All right. Yes. Almighty Machu too. I definitely have suggestions for increasing your focus. Okay, so I saw a question here from Alrighty Machu too. I think Maradi and I both saw it at the same time. Do you have any suggestions on sharpening your focus? As I was mentioning earlier, we've got this training coming up next week, which all of you definitely want to register for when you see the announcement. We're going to be putting it up in the next couple days, and it's called 5 Days to Easy Quantum Leaps. And in one of the classes, because this week we've been working on getting everything ready for the launch, in one of the classes, I think it's on day 3, I talk about increasing focus and sharpening your focus. And so it's through daily discipline. So I'm going to give you a couple different answers to this question on improving your focus. One is through daily discipline. So when you decide that you're going to be doing the things that create that alignment with your desires, you've got to be committed to it, right? You've got to get committed and stay focused and give your attention to it. So by being disciplined, and you'll see we're going to be talking about our daily discipline checklist, and by dedicating time every day to your exercises, to your disciplines, you're going to find that it'll intensify your focus. So there's a lot of things that you can do. One is visualization. And you could do something like, setting a timer on your phone. Oh, there's my phone. I'm looking for my phone, but I'm using it. You can set a timer on your phone for, let's say, 15 minutes where you're just going to do visualization, and you're just going to energetically connect to what you desire in that period of time. That is absolutely one of the best ways of increasing your focus. Another idea, I learned this from my good friend Bob Proctor, is to light a candle. And he suggests light a candle and then stare at the flame. And again, you can do this for a predetermined period of time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. That'll help you focus more. Or Bob also talks about putting a dot on the wall, like directly across from you, and just staring at that dot for a predetermined period of time. You can set a timer to do that. All of those things are going to intensify your focus. All right. Thank you for asking. The next question is from Nancy. If you have a different Power Life script for nighttime, what's in it that's different? Okay, great question, Nancy. Sometimes nothing is different in your nighttime Power Life script, but it's the way that you record it. So when I record my nighttime Power Life script, I record it with a very soft, quiet, slow voice. So rather than lots of energy and enthusiasm, and I'm real pumped up while I'm recording my daytime version, this one starts with something like this. As you drift off to sleep, know that your success is absolutely guaranteed. And then I just talk like that. It's just a quiet nighttime version. Same thing, I'll read my Power Life script. I may create a shorter version because if the speed of the recording or your voice has slowed down, you may end up with like a Power Life script that's either 2, 3, or 4 times longer than the previous version. So you may want to create a shorter version if you want, a condensed version if you want, and listen to that one at nighttime. But the difference really is just in the tonality and the volume level and the duration, like how slow you speak while you're recording it. And that's it. And I find that by having a nighttime version, I used to listen to my Power Life script at night, the original version, which is very enthusiastic and very positive. I would listen to that and I would find myself out of bed as if I started listening to it at nighttime. And the reason I would end up out of bed is because I would be so pumped up and so excited about these goals and these objectives. And so the nighttime version, I just talk about being relaxed and how calm I feel in the knowing that this is already done and things like that. So those would be my suggestions for creating a nighttime version. All right. Thank you. Oh, I love that too. Okay, is it possible to affirm something and do something else? Definitely, yeah. Melran is just asking this question. Certainly, there's a lot of people who do that. And there's a lot of people that affirm that they have something in their life, but yet they don't believe it, right? There's a disconnect between the head and the heart or the tummy. And like they think it, but they don't feel it. You must think and feel. That's the alignment part, right? You must think and feel as if you have that which you desire. And when you do think and feel as if you have that which you desire, then you're going to attract it. So that's the harmony that's there. Also, the actions that you're taking are also in alignment with knowing that you have already accomplished that which you desire. So when you just think about this for a moment. Those of you that really do want to have a quantum leap, those of you that would really love to experience more success than you've ever experienced before, by doing nothing, it's very likely you're not going to get there. You're not going to accomplish what you desire. You'll probably end up either in a worse state than where you are, maybe slightly better depending on what you're doing. Like real success occurs from serious discipline with the serious students. You've got to be really focused on your desires on a regular basis. Not that it's hard, because it's not. It's easy and it's simple to apply. It just takes discipline, and many people don't have the discipline. So there are a lot of people who are very confident with, saying or claiming that they're great students of the materials, and that's wonderful. But are you implementing? Because it doesn't matter what you know. It matters whether you're actually using it in your life or not. And so there's a lot of people who are claiming to do their affirmations or do their gratitude, but at the same time, they're not effectively doing it. And effectively doing the work means that you are invoking the emotions at the same time that you're thinking the thoughts or saying the words, right? So if you think about this, so let's say a year from now, you'd really love to have some massive positive change in your life. And you've made a decision to experience the massive positive change in your life. Well, what you do is you've got to be imagining that it's already here and you're living from the end, even though there's no evidence of it in sight. And then what happens is you get to that point a year down the road and you're amazed at what has already occurred because of the focus and because of the disciplines that you've become involved with. And the truth is that, when people get to a point of dissatisfaction, when they just get to this point, they just say enough is enough, no more playing small, like it's my time to shine, and they make that decision. That's when, everything starts to move, things starts to shift, and but you got to stick with it. I mean, I really do have to stick with it. Like, I found that back in the 1990s, there were two things that I did that really, really enhanced the manifestations that I was having. And what I first want to say is I became a student of personal development back in 1979. I've never stopped. I study every day. I do the work every day. So you hear me talking about disciplines, I'm disciplined every day. So what really took things to another level was when I created my Power Life script, because I knew that in order for a subconscious mind to be reprogrammed that only support the beliefs of what I desire, I had to enforce those ideas, and through repetition really impress them into my subconscious mind over and over again. And then the other thing that really made a big difference was, becoming seriously disciplined. Like, no more playing small. I just, created my daily discipline sheet. I committed to certain disciplines every single day, and I became actively engaged in it. And that's when everything shifted. Everything shifted. And that's the reason, or one of the reasons, why we decided to do this special event coming up called 5 days to 5 days to easy quantum leaps. Matter of fact, I think the link might even be available to register for it. Roddy, I think it's available. If you don't mind, if you can share it on Instagram and on Facebook now, that would be great. So those that are really with us can. Thank you, Roddy wrote, I really recommend the Power Life script. I do as well. All right, great. Well, it is 12:30, my friends. And keep in mind, next week, we're going to be meeting at a different time. We will definitely let you know what time it is that we'll be meeting. But it's always a pleasure to serve you guys. And of course, next week, we're going to be having this live event. And we're going to be doing a couple of things every single day. As a matter of fact, maybe we won't be having a Q&A next week. Okay, and here's why. We're going to do 5 days of training and 5 days of open Q&A as well. So yeah, isn't that great? And it's like amazing what we're going to be covering off with you. As I said, the team, we've been working on this for quite a while, and we're really excited to share it with you. So always a pleasure to serve you. I wish you all the best, all the success in the world. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you guys all again next week. All right, have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.